it's Julia and welcome back to my channel. I have been working on another kit that I will have available in my Etsy store. I'll link it down below for you. I enjoy making these kits just because I can really get my creative juices flowing, making them unique. And this one is this cute little bee pouch. And I think it's also nice to have everything included in a kit. This is a wonderful beginner's project. We're going to be going over an easy way to put in a zipper, and then just with everything included, you don't have to go shopping and all that stuff. It's all included. The only thing you're going to need is an all-purpose thread, and I just used a cream-colored thread. And then, of course, you're going to need the sewing machine and your iron and pins and real basic things like that. But other than that, I'll show you what's in it. You'll get your instructions. The inside, the honeycomb fabric is both the lining fabric and also the bottom part of it. You'll get there's a little bit of quilt batting involved, and also the outer fabric is, I've already pre-stenciled the little bee, so that's all taken care of. And it's basically 2 pieces of 10 ounce 100% cotton canvas. This is a fabric I use a lot. It's just nice, durable, and it's just fun to work with. And then also you're going to be getting the zipper and this little bee dangle, which I thought is just really, really cute. So that is also included. I think that is it. Let's just get started. The first step is to cut 2 pieces off of the bottom of your honeycomb print at 3 inches by 10 inches. And that's just going to be the bottom of your fronts and your back of your pouch. You're going to stitch that about 1/4 inch and then press that. The seam is naturally going to want to press towards that print. So I just did that, and then I'm going to top stitch this seam in place by just a scant 1/4 inch away. That's going to keep that seam in place while we quilt it. I've got this lining left, and I'm just going to cut that the same size as the outer. You may need to trim this a little bit. Mine was pretty exact, so I just was able to open it up. And you'll just lay those aside. And then you also want to cut your batting the same size as your outer pieces. And again, you may need to trim this. I just trimmed off a little bit. And then you also want to trim away 1/2 inch on the top of each of these pieces of batting. That is just to keep that batting away from the zipper. Lay that batting on the back of your front and back. Again, laying it about 1/2 inch away from the top. And then you just want to place some pins just to keep it together while we do the quilting. And the back side, do the same with just laying that batting about 1/2 inch away from the top. I'm going to head to my sewing machine now, and I'm going to just do a diagonal channel stitch. You can also do a horizontal channel stitch if you don't want to do the diagonal. I am using my walking foot for this, so I'm going to put that on. If you don't have a walking foot, your regular foot will work. You may need to add some more pins. The walking foot is just so handy so that the 2 pieces don't shift at all. They evenly feed through. In fact, this foot is also called an even feed foot. And then I also added my little seam gauge. So I lowered that seam gauge right on that original stitching, and that just helps me stitch straight. I am reinforcing my seam by doing a couple back stitches at the beginning and the end of each of these lines. Here's another angle, and you can see how that seam guide just is right over the top of my previous stitching. I had this seam guide in my accessory kit for the longest time before I even knew what it was for. So if you don't, check your accessory kit for your sewing machine. You may have one as well. And there it is. You can see the channel quilting really well on the back side of that. So those 2 pieces are done. Now I'm going to add that B trim. I'm going to just center that right over the seam and just straight stitch that on. You may again need to trim a little off the edge. And now we're ready for the zipper. Lay your zipper face down on the front of your pouch. You want to keep it even on the left-hand side. Open your zipper just to get that pull out of the way. And then add clips or pins. Clips work wonderful for this. And again, I'm just lining everything up so that everything is at the top and everything is meeting up at the top. But then also on that left-hand side, you just want everything to meet or to line up. Back to my sewing machine. I'm using my zipper foot for this, but you want to stitch 1/4 inch away. And again, I'm making sure that everything is lined up, and I keep checking, making sure everything is lined up at the top. Removing my clips. And then for some reason, I don't know if anybody else has this problem, but the lining sometimes tends to grow, and so I'm just doing a little tuck here because it doesn't quite meet. You're never going to see that tuck in the completion of the project, and so don't feel like you can't do that. It's just an easy way to hide that. Just taking this to my ironing board now, and I'm pressing that lining away from the bag, and then I'm going to top stitch this. The lining away from the zipper. You just want everything nice and smooth. And I did that top stitching, and now it's for the other side. You just flip that top over so that the batting is up now. I'm going to open up that pull again. Again, laying that zipper so that it is even on the left-hand side and on the top. And on this side, I add my clips all the way down, or your pins if you're using pins. And then I'm going to add my lining to the back of it. My lining is now face side up, so my right sides are together, and again making sure everything is even on the left hand side and even on the top, and then just adding that to my clips. And then I'm going to head back over to my sewing machine again with that same zipper foot or 1/4 inch foot, and I'll stitch that. That's all done, and again back to my ironing board and just smoothing all that out, giving it a press, and we'll again top stitch that. It's so simple, and that zipper is completely done. Now to finish the bag, you want to make sure that zipper is open but that that pull is on the fabric. You don't want that off the edge for this one. All my lining is on one side, my front is on the other, and I'm just getting this clipped. You want the zipper teeth to go towards the lining. Making my marks, I want an opening of about 6 inches. And then on this side, you want that zipper folded so that the zipper teeth is again towards the lining. And then add a clip right there on that zipper. And here we go. I'm going to show you how I stitched this. I'm going to take about a little more than 1/4 inch seam, a little less than 1/2 inch. My zipper is actually zipper foot, or my regular foot is actually about 3/8 inch. I'm starting at that opening, and I did do a little back stitch there just to reinforce that and to lock my stitch. This is that part that I'm going to walk my sewing machine over this just to make sure I don't break a needle. That zipper is folded there, and I just walked it over just by turning my flywheel and going all the way around. Now this side of the zipper is really easy to do. I'm just coming up on it here. Again, it's zipper teeth towards the lining, and I'm just going over that. And then I'm almost back around and then doing my back stitch at that opening. And you can see that opening there. Clipping some of my corners now just to get that bulk out. and clipping the rest of that zipper off that I no longer need. And then taking my fingers and pushing that all the way through that zipper opening. This is when your bag just kind of comes alive, and you can see the finish, how it's going to look, poking out those corners. To finish that opening on the lining, I'm just going to roll that under, press it, and then I'll take this to my sewing machine and just close that opening. Now it's time to stuff everything back in, smooth it out. I will do a final press on this. I did not have any problems pressing over the stenciled, but if you want, you can certainly use a press cloth. Just kind of with my fingers getting everything out, and then I just pressed it a little on the bottom there. There it is, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a chance to create this week. Bye for now.